Welcome back to the Lost Cause Ranch. Today, Ted and I are flying out to Montana to pick up one special rover. I bet you can't guess what it is. It is right here. We love our Land Rovers. As you can see, we got a few, Porsche too, including one of 300 Kalahari, one of 400 Vitesse, but we are flying out for quite possibly the most special one yet. That's right, a one of one. Some of you guys may have seen it already before, but it is now going to come home to the Lost Cause Ranch on a little fly and drive. Hopefully it makes it back. So Ted and I took a couple flights out to the beautiful state of Montana. As you can see behind me there, we got some mountains, a little different than Iowa. Why'd we come out here? That was for one special Land Rover that we bought a month ago. What is it? I wonder what it could be. That's odd. Seems to be a Range Rover behind us. That Range Rover appears to have a camper on it. Yes, that is a 1976 camper molded to a 1995 Range Rover Classic. That's a soft dash that was chopped up to make into what I would say is one of the most special camper edition Range Rovers around, fit with supercar plates. Where else are you gonna find that besides at the Lost Cause Ranch? So this thing has 236,000 miles on it at the start of this trip, and we're gonna add a couple thousand more to it. It's been to the country of Panama once, lived in. That's super sweet, but what does that mean? That means this driver's seat has been all farted out. It has seen too many farts. It's down to the metal. It's a little uncomfortable. It's seen better days. It should be up like somewhere around here, but it's not. Like you can see, that one has a lot of fart time on it too, but this one has more. Floor has seen better days. So we're on our first pit stop with the Range Rover. 100 miles in, it's doing great. You can see it right there. But we're on a tour of the first legit ghost town I've ever been to. This is Granite City. Ghost town from the late 1800s, early 1900s. In Montana. This would have been Main Street the way it sounds on the info sheets. Look at that. 1890s. That's some cast iron right there. Neat pillars. They said Chinatown and the red light district was down there. That looks like it's non-existent anymore. No more picking up the ladies on the corner in Granite City. So it was a, we will call a minimal maintenance road up here, about 4 miles. Glad we had the four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive Range Rover. I don't think many other campers would have made it up there without trouble, but the old Range Rover did. We got some big tires, plenty of ground clearance, and it's not too long. That was the ticket. Behind me there, that's the old bank. Nothing left in it. Don't know if it was full of silver, but someone probably owned themselves a Land Rover at one time, so they had to empty it out, if you know what I mean. Not quite sure what the purpose of that was, but can you imagine the time and energy that had to take to do back in the 1890s to stack all that timber there?
Not a very good tour guide.
Ted's been making fun of me, saying I'm not a very good tour guide. I would have to agree. That did something. It looked like it would have been important. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have spent the time building it. And over here is the mine shaft. And what they did is they got all the ore and got silver and gold and made a lot of money, I'm assuming. I'm assuming, being that's the mine shaft, that would probably be something with the mill for it. Like I said, I don't really know. But what I do know is look at the size of those timbers. Those are like 2-foot square rectangle. That's impressive. Had to be a good sized tree. And this type of stuff amazes me as to what they could accomplish 130, 40 years ago. I couldn't manage that today, but kudos to them. Travel at your own risk. Range Rover doesn't have to worry. So that concludes our expansive ghost town tour of Granite City. Range Rover, we're gonna head back down that minimal maintenance road. Ted and I kind of realized we haven't tried the headlights, so we figured we'd get at least off this little mountain before dark.
Fucking broadsided by a fucking... This guy's a drunken sailor up here. Alright, I'm moving.
Day 2, we have the Admiral behind us right there. Ted and I got a good night's sleep in it last night. No, we didn't. We stayed in a hotel room. I mean, we didn't have any bedding or anything. That's going to be our excuse. But we are out here. It's been a champ so far. We got a few hundred miles on it. We're exploring the vastness of Yellowstone. This is a first-time trip out this way for me and Ted, I believe. And it is pretty cool. We just stopped at a couple of the lookout areas, and apparently there has been some wolf sightings in the Lamar Valley this morning, so hopefully we can check that out and maybe not get eaten. But either way, this is pretty neat. So the nice thing about the Admiral, the Range Rover camper, is you never lose it in a parking lot. It's right there. The big old helmet camper makes it visible from anywhere, even in the middle of Yellowstone. So this is a touch bit different scenery than the old Lost Cause Ranch in Iowa. I mean, we have some limestone rock at the house, but it's nothing compared to what we're in right now. Might be kind of tough to see, but we got a bear right up there. I'll try and throw some pictures that Ted's grabbing right now. There he is. It's the first bear I've ever seen.
Got porch on the top too.
That guy knows how to party. So there's one minorly sketchy thing we'll have to address. So we got propane, which is super awesome. Full-size propane tank on board for the stove, for the refrigerator. But that refrigerator is on the passenger side. Not a big deal. Except for we got a pilot light right over here. Once again, not a big deal. Except for where is the fuel door? That kind of poses a problem when you have to fill up. It's a Range Rover with a helmet on it. So filling up is a common thing. It's only been on fire once before. No big deal. Just woke up from the first night sleeping in the little rangy there. We chose a truck stop, a Pilot one in Rapid City, South Dakota to be exact. It's a little dark in here. Let me flip one of the lights on. Oh yeah, look at that vintage. But here is Ted and I's sleeping quarters for the night. We got our spare tire, because you need that. Spare parts, because you need those. Spare vent, because who doesn't need a spare vent in case your exit doesn't work. But got our mattress flipped down and our bed slid out, and our truck stop plush rolled throws. Only the finest things when you're camping in a Range Rover. And in the morning we can wake up, take a Duke. Who else can do that in their Range Rover? So we made it to see our good buddies right back there. Yes, this is Mount Rushmore. And thankfully, as you saw coming in here, the fog subsided once we got here. Otherwise, this would have been kind of a boring experience. It's been 21, 22 years since being out here. Those guys haven't changed much, but it is different seeing it as a 30-some-year-old versus a 11, 12-year-old. Either way, this place is definitely not busy this time of year, so it's kind of nice exploring on your own. And on that note, though, last night, sleeping in the old Rangy, a little not great. We had our 2 little blankets from the truck stop purchase, 2 for $16. What a deal. But those weren't quite sufficient at the 35-degree temperature. So we're on the side of the road here in Spokane, South Dakota, just a bit away from Mount Rushmore, and we're gonna hike in to second ghost town of the trip, Lost Cause Ranch, Lost Cause Towns. Got a cab off old 50s pickup sitting over there, kind of like a automotive graveyard from the early 50s. We got a couple sedans up here, a couple more over there. We'll get a little closer look. This one has been target practice. Don't you see? Don't you see? We had a very observant graffiti artist right there. Wouldn't have known. Wouldn't have known. Appreciate that guy. Well, this one must have been a race car back in the day. Well, 396. Ted always gives me shit that someday my house is going to look like this with Land Rovers scattered everywhere. All those lost causes, random bits and pieces. So in 50 years, there'll be a nice little auction once I'm dead of random Land Rovers and bits scattered throughout the Lost Cause Ranch. So mark your calendar, 50 years from today for a good auction. They even have a nice little shop. Not sure why they didn't just store the cars in here, or at least one of them. Here we got a root cellar. Apparently you can keep all your refreshments cold. It's really kind of a shame that everyone feels the, not everyone, that certain people feel the need to graffiti stuff up. Kind of ruins it a little bit. Don't do that, not necessary. Ted and I were talking about how Granite was cool because there was hardly any of that, which is rare to see anymore because there's always some bad actors that feel the need for some ungodly reason. So we just took what is probably the worst gravel road I've been on. It looks like they just freshly cut it with a dozer. So it had all the track marks in it. And we gave this thing the true shakedown test, I guess you would say. But I think it was worth it, because we got that behind us. We made it to the Badlands in South Dakota. These lands are bad, I guess. They're kind of crumbly, would be. I don't know. I'm guessing that's what they're going after. Looks like it's falling apart, but it is deep. But we're a little over 1,100 miles into the trip. My main gripe so far, though, is these mirrors. So here we are, just shy of 2,000 miles into the trip. Back at the airport, just dropped Ted off over yonder, and we just got about an hour and 15 minutes to get back home, and then I'm gonna get some sleep, and we'll see you guys in the morning. So there you have it, guys. We have the old helmet home, the Admiral. The helmet, I don't know what we're gonna call it. They called it the Admiral. Makes sense, a little Star Wars hint there. But either way, the Range Rover with the big white helmet on top made it home. It's back with all its other Land Rover friends, so it can be part of the party at the Lost Cause Ranch. And I'm happy to say 2,100 miles of driving, sight unseen. It made it home. No issues once again, but we have Steve to thank for that. He did a good job making sure, checking things over before we flew out, and he left us with a lot of confidence in this guy. And we are happy to have adopted another special Land Rover to the Lost Cause Ranch, and we get to be the caretakers in its next chapter. This thing has had a good story so far. Had a Toyota camper put on it, been to Panama, the country, not like Panama City. Lit on fire once. It was previously owned by Rover Life on Instagram, and then Venturesome Overland had it before us, and then after the Bring a Trailer auction, it's ours. So we'll get you another video here shortly with the walk around, because I know you're gonna be interested to see all the good things and the deets on this guy. But for now, we appreciate you guys coming along for the journey, and we will have some more and an update on that LS Disco on the next video. Why don't you leave me your thoughts on this beautiful piece of machinery behind me, because I know you got to be brewing something up in that head of yours. So comment down below. I'd love to hear what you think of this. Are we crazy? Yes, we are. But either way, appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do those things. Have a good night. So Ted was just checking some things over after the trip here, and it kind of looks like we were cutting it close on that belt there. Looks like it had about just over 2,000 miles worth of traveling on it before it needs a little adjustment. We're missing a tad bit of rubber on that old bushing there too. That side's a little better. I'd say the sway bar was not functioning as well as possible. As good as possible? Whatever. But there's the case of why you don't look stuff over too closely. I mean, you want it to be safe. You don't want to have extra worries while driving, because neither of that worried us, because we didn't know.